Welcome everyone. Just make sure can I have your confirmation? I see that we are live on YouTube now.
Yes,
Okay.
It's all good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Welcome everyone for this very special presentation. We are celebrating today Paradism Day. You will know all about Paradism. I have a little presentation to start with. So just to make sure you can visualize me better if you have the speaker side view. So if you click on your right top corner of your screen and you adjust during my presentation, you can adjust my window and the presentation window. It makes it easier to enjoy, to make it more enjoyable for you. Okay, so it's a great. We have an exciting time. I just slideshow talk, and it's not. I know. I'm not ready yet. I need to share my screen first. Yes, you know, those technical problems, there is always, it happens all the time. And let me share my screen. And then we can get started. Normally my screen is shared.
Yes.
And here I go. And here we are. Normally, is that correct? So this is the official welcome. Maybe we can edit the first part. Thank you for coming here. I know that you come from all over the world, actually. I have seen some people coming from India. Hello, people in India, America, of course, Australia, because this is organized in Australia. And but all over the world, I know that some African people will be there too. So hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to have you for this special presentation. Actually, it will be a very different presentation because...
Sorry to interrupt. Your microphone is touching your something. It is scratching your clothes or something.
Can you mute everyone? Have you muted everyone? I could hear something. Okay, so are we good, RC?
Yes, we are good now.
Okay, so we restart. We thank you for being here today for this special presentation. I know you come from all the continents, and it's a great pleasure to have you. So this is today is a special day. It's Paradism Day. We will discover what it is, Paradism. I know that a lot of people already know about it. So it's a presentation, but when I presented, I said, oh, why not doing it as a training? And why not doing it as a Paradism Academy? That will be maybe more beneficial so that you will become like a spokesperson or for Paradism, like activist, Paradism activist. We can call it paradists. We are the paradists. I want you to become a spokesperson, if you want to, of course, for Paradism. So that's maybe the first one of this new Paradism Academy. I'm sure we'll do many more in the future. I have already plenty of ideas for the next academies. Anyway, so there will be a possibility to ask questions. So those who are in the room, please use the chat to write your questions, and I will have RC who will maybe sometime intervene to ask your questions if they are relevant. So I want it to be as much as interactive as possible. It's, sorry. Yes. It's not so easy not to see you, actually. I try to see you, but I feel you. For me, it's like I speak in front of a computer, but I imagine you. I know you are in the room. So anyway, ask your questions. And yes, so what is this academy for? I mean, it's actually to formulate the collective will or collective will, and to find out the message we want to give out to the world and to communicate around us. So if we achieve that today, that will be fantastic. So everyone is welcome to interact. So please ask questions. But that's a bit the goal of this session, is to formulate our collective will. How are we going to communicate paradism around us? So we all have different ideas about our future, what we want the world to be, and you know, we all have follow our own directions. But if we are alone following our own direction, we don't go very far. And what we have to do is really synchronize and create what I said, a collective will, find out the direction we all want to take. And it will be made of the input of everyone, hopefully. And that's how we form this, this group. This is a kind of an assembly of people wanting to change the world in a specific direction. So first, let's define the direction. And once we have the direction and we all agree, and we all move forwards, pushing in the same direction. That's how, that's the goal of today. It's identify the direction we want to push. So first, we have to recognize that we are living a very exciting moment in the history of humanity, a revolutionary time. All over the world, you have people rising, going to the street, and we can feel it's global. It's happening on every continent. People take the street and they are very dissatisfied with the way things are going. The whole system is collapsing. It's actually a systemic collapse, political collapse, economical collapse in all areas of life. And so enormous crowds all over the world are taking the streets and wanted change. But what change? That's the problem. We all know what's going wrong, but to find a way to fix it, that's another matter. So what is very exciting in this revolutionary time is that you have spontaneously people assemble everywhere. They assemble here in my town. Every Sunday they gathered, and we are a group of 50 people and exchanging ideas. That we have been doing that for months, and it's happening all over the world and on every continent spontaneously. This is very unique to revolutionary time, when the people assemble to change and to create a new world, hopefully. And so we can remember that in the past, we have had a big revolutionary time, like the French Revolution. And this is a moment that has been represented by an artist. It is the host of the tennis court. The people have gathered on a tennis court, and they were all there, the final place to discuss, and all the participants who were there on this day declare an oath that we will assemble until we change the constitution. That was their goal. They were determined to change, and everybody, all the participants except one, I think, made this oath to continue to assemble until we change we have a new constitution. So it's the beginning of the French Revolution. And it ended up with they have formulated their collective will, and it was very simple, you know, it's in French, liberty, equality, fraternity. That's what the slogan, the motto, the demands of the assemblies or the revolutions. They formulated it, and it's in French. And you can see unity and indivisibility of the Republic, liberty, equality, fraternity, or death. At the end there, it's written or death. So that's how committed they were to get what they want. They were ready to not compromise until even possibly die, but they really wanted the liberty, equality, fraternity. Did they get it? But we are going to see. I don't think they get it. They got everything, and we are trying to understand why. And at the moment in France, there has been all last year this yellow vest movement. Is fantastic. Every Saturday, people in the street protesting, wanting to change, and they created also assemblies like we are doing now. People gathered spontaneously, and they tried to formulate their will, their collective will. And it's not easy when you are so many people. Everyone is wanting different things, and they didn't actually really succeed. What they succeeded is to stop the petrol tax. Actually, the whole movement of the Yellow Vest started with the decision by the government to impose a tax on the petrol, and many people spontaneously started this demonstration, and then it took momentum. So the government has stopped, canceled the tax, but then because they had so much momentum and so many people mobilized for this, they wanted to ask for more. But did they get it? No, they didn't get it because they couldn't formulate something very clear, very simple, that was unifying. They tried, they had many attempts, and you know how difficult it is to participate in groups of many people. It's quite difficult to end up with a collective decision, especially when it's happening everywhere in the country. So the only thing they agree on is, as you see on the image, is to their anger against the government and the president. So that they agree on. But to agree on the demand for their movement was quite another, much more difficult. So you remember the movement Occupy Wall Street? That was a fantastic movement that has also had a lot of momentum. But what did they achieve? They achieved nothing. Actually, they created an awareness that 99% of the people had nothing, and 1%, all the West were concentrated in the 1%. That's created. But did they achieve anything? No, because why? Occupy Wall Street. Okay, they occupy, but occupy is not an action. You occupy, but then what? What do you do once you occupy? And so they didn't, this movement died without achieving anything concrete. So we can learn from those movements, and same, they created assemblies of people trying to decide what they will do and what they can ask the government to create change. But it went nowhere. Why? Because successful movements who have been successful have demands that are clear, short, and simple. You know, it has to be clear, but most of all, the demands have to be actionable. They have to lead into an action. If you cannot occupy Wall Street, it's an action, but that leads nowhere. So we need something that is a demand that is actionable. For example, suppress the petrol tax, that is actionable. The French Revolution, liberty, equality, fraternity. Liberty, maybe there were some things they asked to be free, maybe the press, or I don't know, I'm not specialized, but in liberty, they didn't get much of liberty. It's not so easily achievable. Fraternity, actionable. Fraternity, what did they achieve with fraternity? There is not much the people can do. The decision makers couldn't really do anything. But equality, that's it. Equality, they achieved something, the end of the privilege of the nobility. And that's the only achievement I remember of the French Revolution, that they achieved only what was actionable. They asked for equality, the suppression of the privilege. There was no more nobility, and everybody had the same rights, even the king. So the king that actually disappeared, actually had no right at all, because they cut his head. So, but that's the demand of the French Revolution was the only thing they got, what was actionable. And it has to be unifying. It has to be a demand that everybody will join. And that was the difficult part. This is the difficult part also for every movement. What could be the demand that could unify everyone? So this is important. And we are going in this academy try to find what demand could we ask for this revolution that is underway. So what demand for what revolution? But for that, we need to understand the revolution. What is this revolution we are that is underway, that is ongoing? And we have to recognize that it is actually a systemic revolution. It affects all the areas of life, political, economical, cultural, but I can go on, sexual, artistic. It will change the whole system. It's really a systemic revolution, and we have had in the past 2 systemic revolutions. We started with original societies of tribes of hunters and gatherers. They were fishing and picking fruit and hunting, and they were organized as tribes. So it was very simple. And then we discovered the tribe grew, and it was more difficult to hunt and to move around. And they started to they discover agriculture, and they started to have fields and grow their plants and domesticate animals. And so this started a new society, the agrarian society. So we can see that it is actually the mode of production that has changed. These systemic revolutions have been initiated by a change in our mode of production, the way we produce the things we need. So, and then they stopped to be nomads, because once you start to cultivate your fields, you have to stay at the same place, and so you create cities, villages, and you have a completely another system. And then, after that, we had another big revolution with the arrival of the machine. And that's another mode of production that has changed completely the system. The industrial revolutions, actually, the people now were moving out of the fields and into the factories to produce all the goods we needed. and it has also transformed dramatically the system economically, politically, and that was a very big revolution, a big change. And now we need to recognize that we are living another systemic revolution, which is brought by the smart machines that also change completely the way we produce things. Instead of having to work, now we can be free from having to work, and machines can do the work for us, and it will change completely the way we organize society. If we don't have to work, then what do? We have to create another type of society that will be a leisure society, and also an abundant society, because with the technology we can produce abundantly for everyone. And that very much resembles to what we call a paradise. So we can call this new society the paradisiacal society. So this is what we have to recognize, that we are living a systemic revolution, and that's what you will have to explain also to the people. It's important. And guess what? It is raining at the moment, and I'm sure you can listen to the rain, and I hope it doesn't disturb too much.
We cannot hear the rain. It's okay.
You cannot hear the rain. Okay, very lucky. So systemic revolution have changed systems. We started with change the economical system. We started with tribalism, where we trade, it was better. And then we had a feudal system, where we had we developed trade, and we developed a specialization and the crafts. And then capitalism, that was the prevalent system. And the system for the paradisiacal society, because it resembles a paradise, we will call it paradism. And we can yes. So we started with humanity started with the size of the grouping of people. We started with clan, very small clans, and tribalism. We started to ended with agriculture, and then we started to create villages and settle down. And feudalism took us to another level, where we created countries, a nation, the idea of a nation, of a country. And then capitalism took us to another level, where the global level, where now we have countries united in blocks, and we create more like a global, we create a global civilization. So you see that every system is adapted to the size of the economy. Humanity is actually a biological entity. We can consider that a human being is made of cell. It's a society of cell. And humanity is actually made of human beings. It's a society of human beings. So, and what is very interesting to notice is that all the functions that are in the human beings are also in the cell and within humanity. The digestive system, the energy system, the respiratory system, the transportation system, all those systems exist at the level of the cell, at the level of the human being, of the body, and the level of the whole humanity. So we have three levels of living entities. And that's interesting because it helps us recognize where each revolution is at. We started at the original, in the original society, we started, everybody was like a stem cell, an embryonic cell. Everybody could do everything. They all could hunt and pick up fruits. They were not very specialized. Everybody was doing the same things, like embryonic stem cells. But then with the arrival of feudalism and agriculture, we started to specialize. So we had created craft, handicraft. Men started to specialize, like the cells of the embryo start to specialize, creating the nervous system, creating the bone, the structure, creating the skin. So, and that took quite some time, slowly growing up, and then suddenly, not recently, we arrived to a time of accelerated growth. And this is the time of the industrial society, where humanity is suddenly, in terms of population, but in terms of growth, it's like an explosion, grows very fast. And it's the same for the gestation in a woman, for the baby. The last few weeks, you can see amazing exponential development. It goes very fast of the fetuses, and to deliver, and then you arrive to the stage where you can deliver. It's the stage of the delivery of the baby. The baby is born to the world, and this is another step. If you compare that with humanity, but humanity as an entity is living those steps, and we have to recognize that now we are living the birth of humanity. We are developing, integrating all the part of humanity, like just before a baby is born, all the parts of the body are integrated with the nervous system and start to communicate with each other, and the baby is ready to be born. And we have to recognize now, for the entity humanity, we are living that. We are creating this global society where all the parts of humanities in all the parts of the world are now interconnected and interdependent, and are speaking to each other and ready to be born. So this is a very interesting way to look at what is happening now, because we understand this revolution is really global, and we have to, when we think of our demands, we have to think in this way. We have to recognize that now we have to integrate the whole humanity in this movement and prepare to and create this planetary civilization. This planetary civilization that will allow us to maybe join the other humanities in the galaxy, in the universe. Like when a baby is born to the world, a baby now joins all the other human beings in the world. And the same for humanity. When the humanity is born and start to create this planetary civilization and start also to have the technology to explore the universe, but we are born to the universe like a baby is born to the world. So this is an interesting way to look at what is happening now, and that's what we have to communicate to other people, because it's very important. The fact that we are now one planet, and introduce this concept of oneness. Oneness is the most important things to communicate to the people, to think in terms of let's think in terms of globally. in terms of unifying humanity to create this planetary civilization. And how exciting this is to be alive at this time, at this very time. You know, we could have been alive at the French Revolution. That was an exciting moment. But this revolution, we're going to create a real paradise. Thanks to this technology we have now developed, we can feed everyone. We can enjoy a society of abundance, pleasure and leisure that our poets have dreamt of, our ancestors have dreamt of, and now we are the ones. We have the privilege to be this generation, the generation that can make it happen, that will make the transition between a life of slavery and hard labor to a life of complete freedom. So we have to create this new society. This is exciting. So we need to really communicate this idea around us during these assemblies. We are living this revolutionary time, and you now you will be the spokesperson for Paradism. Go to your assemblies of people around you in your area and communicate that what you have just seen. I think it's very important, because that will help us to formulate our demands. So we have to recognize that we are now living, or how are we going to call this revolution we are living now? The Paradisaical revolution, because this is a revolution to create a paradise. A paradise. What is the definition of a paradise? Let's share the definition, have a common definition, and for most people, it's we will all agree that it's a society of leisure and abundance. We don't have to work, and people only do what they enjoy doing, and we are completely free to do what we want. And this is what I think we will most will agree of being a paradise. We could add that we could also live eternally without disease, and that's going to happen thanks to technology. We will eradicate disease, eradicate suffering. We will understand how the body works, and we will be able to live a life without disease and without aging, and maybe live eternally. For some people, that's a definition of a paradise somewhere after death, but we can create this paradise now. We don't have to die for that. We can create ourselves, and we are, it's possible. We are the generation that can make it possible. Every year, we increase the life expectancy of the people. So if we increase the life expectancy more than a year, every year, there's a chance we could live eternally. So this is exciting. But let's not take this definition of paradise. For us, paradise will be a society of leisure and abundance where the people only do what they enjoy doing. And paradism is the system of society of a paradise. And we could also add of a technological paradise. Every advanced civilization that has reached the level of the smart machine can also free itself from having to work and use money. So every civilization, if they are not stupid, and of course they are not, because to achieve this level you cannot be stupid, but normally all the civilization who achieve the level of the smart machine create a society without work and without money. And that's what we need to communicate. We have reached this level. Now it's possible. Just recently, with the progress in artificial intelligence, it's amazing. We can teach a machine to learn like a human being. So, and now machines can perform better than in everything. Everything can be done or will be done better by a machine, because we are limited in our ability to process information. But for the machine, there is no limitation. We can create a machine as big as we want that process information as fast, even faster than we do. and so there will be no limit to the power of the machine to replace human being in the task we don't want to do. We want to, that doesn't mean we won't do nothing. There will be other activities, but the activities that are blossoming, that we enjoy, and those, the activities we don't want to do, we will leave it to the machines. So, and now, knowing that, what could be the demand for the systemic revolution we are in? Because this is the purpose of this gathering today, is find out the collective, decide of what could be the demand for the revolution that could, what we have proposed is to paralyze the world. It's in English. We have created a word. It doesn't exist like this in the dictionary, so we have to create it. Paralyze the world, but it's obvious, it's easy to understand, is to transform something into a paradise. So we can paradise the world, we can paradise a place, a country, we can paradise a continent, Africa, we can paradise Sydney, we can paradise also a place of work, we can paradise a factory. But the slogan or the demand for this global or planetary revolution we are living it, we can say paradise. This is an action. It's actionable. Paradise the world, and we will it's actually an action. It's simple, it's clear, it's unifying, and paradise the world, we can decompose it in three very easy to understand actions. First would be to unify the world, leisurize the world. It's also a word that we can create, and beautify the world. That could be the meaning of paradise the world. Three is good. By three, it's very easy to understand. Initially, I thought four, but I reduced it to three. And unify, leisurize, beautify. That will be the program for the revolution. Paradise the world. So unify. So what does it mean? What action can we do to unify the world? World government. Yes, we have to understand that we are creating this planetary civilization, and we need a world government, a world federation of self-autonomous regions, a world government, because it's important. At the moment, the problem, everything is connected. What we do in one part of the world affects all the other parts of the world. So we need to have an organization that harmonizes the whole, and on all levels, economically, politically, we need an organization to harmonize the planet at this level. This is so important. We will do that with a World Federation, because we want to create. It's important that the people are free to us to create their own political area where they manage themselves, administrate themselves if they want to. So it will be self-autonomous, self-determined, autonomous region. Self-determined is important, and we need to break away those big blocks, like those big countries that are so powerful that they can impose their will on other countries. So that will be better to have many different little countries or communities of people assembled together in a federation than a few superpowers that we have now that can impose their will on little countries. And so we can do that through a federation. And also world currency. This is important, world currency, because the currency, it's the economical problems are mainly monetary problems. There is not enough money in the world. And you can see some videos on our YouTube channel that will explain why it's important to have this world currency to solve the financial crisis that we have. If we have many currencies, we compete to each other. It's very difficult for trade, for international trade. And now we have the dollar, and the dollar is one country, and that gives a special power to one country that create problems because it can impose its will on others. So we need to remove this power from a country and to give it to the whole community, the global community. And we need this world currency. It's important. It will bring prosperity, because we can create, when there is no competition between the currencies, we can create as much money as we need, and not having problem of our money to be devalued. So for that, if we have the world currency, we can do that. So this is very important. It will solve a lot of economical problems. And the world language, of course, more and more we speak English everywhere, but maybe we can create a special language that can be easy to learn for everyone. We have Esperanto. Apparently, it's very easy to learn, and we will not favor a special culture. So that will be also unifying. And of course, once we have this world governments and world currency, there is no need of military army. There is no competition between countries, because we can demilitarize and remove the borders, and that will be that will be important if we want to create this global society, not to have many armies, but maybe a police force of peacekeepers. We need peacekeepers, but not an army of people. So that will be possible with unifying. So this is important. The first things that will bring world peace. The unification of the world will bring world peace. At the moment, we are in danger of destroying all life on Earth. So this is a very important priority. So Paradize the world, unified. Second, leisurize. What does it mean, leisurize? It's also a new word that we had to create. But it means transition a place or an industry or a factory or that requires human labor into something that doesn't require human labor. So we can leisurize Africa, we can leisurize the automobile or the car industry, we can leisurize a factory, we can leisurize a trade. So replace the human work by, of course, robots and machines, smart machines that can do the work for us. So maybe we can create another word like day work. We need to day work. I don't know. Maybe it's interesting to create words because we enter a new civilization, a new society. So we need to create new words for this society. So robotize is a new word. And we need to collectivize too. And this is important because as we robotize, there is no need to work. But why we have a minority of people enrich themselves from the robotization of their factory and channel all the wealth? No, we have to collectivize. As we robotize, we also need to collectivize. The Paradise, nobody is working, and we don't look after the robots. They look after themselves, and they are owned by the community. And of course, we need to redistribute and share. So that's also an action, redistribute, because at the moment there is such a wealth inequality. That will be done through the collectivization, with the collectivization of the means of production. That will be possible, and we share. Like, we will have those driverless cars, so no need to each one drive a car. We will share a car. We don't have to own anything if we share everything. That's a beauty. If you own something, if you own nothing, actually you own everything. You can use everything. There is nothing you cannot use. Actually, we will replace private property with collective property, but I mean, the users, we will replace the owner of something by the user of something. When someone uses something, he is responsible. When you use a bike, for example, you won't have someone coming and say, "Oh, I want this bike. We all share the bike." No, I'm using this bicycle. This is mine as long as I use it. And when I don't use it, I put it somewhere, and somebody else can have it because I don't use it. And everything will be abundant. There will be a bicycle. If I need one, I just ask on my mobile. I don't know how it will be, but I just ask a robot to bring me the car or the bicycle I want, and it will be they will come and offer it straight away for free. So we don't have to possess anything, and if we all share, that would be fantastic. In the Paradise, there is no need to own anything. We all share, and that's the idea. So yeah, that's how it works in the world, actually. When in the animal world, when a bird, when a monkey is eating a banana, it is his banana. But if he eats half of it and throw the banana on the ground, then the ants can have the banana, or another bird can have the banana. So it is owned after by the bird or by the ants. It is the users that is responsible for the goods. Anyway, you understand the idea, how it will work. And I put here blossomize. It's also another word that we create. We need to create activities of leisure. But I don't like the idea of leisure. Leisure, sometimes we think about laziness. We stay on the beach and do nothing. No, this is leisure. It will be activities that we enjoy, maybe also that we enjoy to rest, but activities that the best will be those where the activity where we can blossom. We want to develop our potential, so we create activities so that the people can develop their potential. And that's what I mean by blossomize. We need to blossomize the world, and leisureize, and create activities so that the people can blossom and express their full potential. And that will be a hard word to translate. But anyway, the most important is leisureize. Yes, collectivize. I think that will be a tough one to communicate to the people when you speak to them about paradism. So, because we have been conditioned and formatted to actually be afraid of collectivization. We every day on television or on the internet, and they say, communism has failed, collectivism is a failure, capitalism is the way to go. There is no better system than the free market and capitalism. And actually, we will have a lot of work here to educate the people that actually it's not a system that is in our interest. So how can we explain why we need collectivization, to collectivize the means of production? But we need to be simple, and I think a good way will be to use the image of monopoly. You know, we all play Monopoly, and Monopoly, capitalism is like Monopoly. You can read it on the screen. The one who lives in the beautiful neighborhood and owns the most profitable means of production, you know, the nice streets with the hotels, will be able to buy everything and ruin all the others. That's a monopoly. If you own the best means of production, you channel the money so you can buy even more means of production and get even more money, and you ruin everyone. Capitalism is a system designed for the rich to get richer. It's capital, those who own the capital. It's in the name. It's not pourism, it's capitalism. It's a system made for the rich, not for the poor. So it's a system where the rich can enrich themselves, acquire the means of production. Those entrepreneurs who work very hard to make their business and develop their factory, at one stage they would need money to develop, and they have to sell part of their factory, of their business, to investors, the rich, the capitalists. And that's how the capitalists, the rich, the super rich, acquire the work of the people and get richer. So it's not a system that is very fair, because it's the richest get everyone, and that's what we got today. Now, after 200 years, we have the super rich who have acquired most of the planet, and it's getting worse and worse as the technology develops with the machines and the robotization and these new technologies that make them even get richer faster. And so they accumulate the means of production, and at the expense of everybody else, because we don't lose, continue to read, we don't lose capitalism. We don't lose because we are lazy, but because in order to win, everyone else has to lose, like Monopoly. Huh? For one winner, everybody else has to lose. Capitalism is a bit like this. It creates monopolies. The big fish, the richest, the big fish eat the small fishes. The small fish, the richest can buy those who are less rich and ruin them, and that's creates a monopoly. So paradism, we will have to share the means of production so that there are only winners. If the community owns the means of production, but the community enriches itself and can distribute the money so that we can pay for the schools, we can pay for, why not a basic income, a well-being income, not basic income, for the people to afford a quality of life, a good quality of life. And we can finance everything. So, but the idea will be to have collectivism without introducing communism, because the lack of freedom is a problem. We still want the freedom to create our own business, to choose our own work. And there is a way to do that, and by a renting system. So that will be explained in another Paradism Academy. I don't want to develop that. There is videos you can watch on our YouTube channel. But this is also one thing we have to communicate, is how we can transition while with collectivism while keeping free enterprise. Because what's interesting is in the free market and capitalism is this freedom to realize your dreams and your own ideas and develop your ideas. And this has we want to keep that, and there is a way to do it through this renting system. So collectivization is so important that we will come back to it in another Paradism Academy. So Paradize the world, the third thing we could, the third thing, Paradize, unify, leisurize, and beautify the world. But obviously, a paradise, look, we want clean air, clean water, clean land. We need to clean everything and create a beautiful environment for us and for all the livings. So, and we will have to address overpopulation. Look, when you see a beach, the beaches at the moment in some places of the world, no, so we will have to work on stabilize the population. So that's also very important things to communicate. Stabilization of population. We don't want to kill anybody, of course. We want to stop making babies. We just have to stop making babies and preserve the quality of life of the living. What's important is the living and their quality of life. And we have to be responsible and be respectful of others by not making children. So we will also develop this point because it is also a very important theme to communicate, but it is part of beautifying the world, stabilizing the population.
Yes. What you mean there is just not making too many babies.
Yes, not making too many babies. Yes, not making, we stop making babies, but also, for a while, not making one per person until we have to reduce the population. So we don't want to kill anyone. We don't want to exclude anyone. We have to find a way, and we have to find a scientific way to do it. So anyway, that will be an issue we will have to discuss and all agree. So beautifying will mean to pleasurize. We need to pleasurize all the senses to make things beautiful, but makes music beautiful, make beautiful things around us. We are sensual beings. Paradise is we want to be stimulated, and so the artists we have a lot of work to transform the world and to make it a stimulating place. So we are getting as much pleasure as possible from what we see, from what we smell, from what we hear. That will be fantastic. There is a lot of work to be done, and the artists will have a leading role into beautifying the world. The artist and the scientist, because we can also we will have to repair the ecosystem we have seen, but also we can also improve it. Making it better to suit our needs and our desire. Why not have big strawberries that taste even much better than the strawberries, or the concentration of taste of the strawberries we can develop now with genetic engineering. We can copy nature and become like the gods creating life, and the life we suited to our needs and desire in harmony with the ecosystem. So we can repair the ecosystem, but why not also improve it? So that's a lot of things. And of course, just in beautifying the world, we will have to stabilize the population, very important. So that's it. The demands for the systemic revolution that is ongoing: paradize the world, unify, leisurize, beautify. That's the message we need to convey to the people around us. So we move forwards we make it happen. Values, yes. So we have these demands, but also this revolution, this new system that will come up. We need to change also the values. The values in the system are very important. The previous values were liberty, or there was work, family, and country. You remember those ones? Work, family, countries. And we need to change that. And there was liberty, fraternity, equality, fraternity. But these are good ones, and we want to keep liberty for sure. Liberty, we need to be free, and we need to optimize the freedom, to maximize the freedom. So this revolution will also be the greatest liberation of humanity. And not only will we free ourselves from having to work, but we will install a type of society where the people will be free, where there will be no laws like we have laws now, but we only do what we consent. Actually, there is a very interesting video that has just been released, and I invite you to watch it, about how to create a society without government. And actually, the title of the video is How to Live Together Without Government. You can find it on our YouTube channel. And that will be something that we have to really, the problem with the previous revolution is that they have installed tyrannic regimes just after the revolution. They fought for liberty, but they got tyrannies and terror. And we absolutely want to avoid that, because we want to create a paradise. So there cannot be any tyranny. And we have to create a world where the people are free. And free also to oppose what we want to do. We need to respect everybody. And then the other important value is love and fraternity. We have fraternity, but fraternity, the fraternity of the French Revolution was the fraternity of the tribe, or my own kind, of my people. Fraternity within the country, but people living in another country, there was no fraternity at all. So the fraternity will have to be universal. We are creating not only a planetary civilization, but we'll be able to make contact with other civilizations from space. So we also need to have this fraternity, this openness to welcome other people who are also could be very different from who we are. They can have different color of skins, but different shapes, different different consciousnesses. We don't know what we will find out, but we have to be open to the universe now, and we have reached the level. We will reach the level of planetary civilization and galactic civilization. So we have to have this universal fraternity within us, but also with every living beings within the universe. And the third value, we had equality. Equality, yes, it's important, equality, but we are also different. So we don't want to conform the people to be all the same. And diversity is important, is more important than equality. Diversity, it brings balance. We bring so much to humanity through our differences. So we need to respect everyone's differences and create the condition to express our differences and to express our full potential. So a better word would be the blossoming. I don't know if it's a good, we need to have, if we had to choose three values, that could be the three values we could choose: liberty, universal fraternity, and blossoming. We need to create the condition for the people to blossom, to express themselves, their individuality and their full potential. So, and hopefully with all that, yeah, we will happify the world. So, because this is the end goal of, we want to create, what we want to optimize is happiness. Everybody wants to be happy. That's the most important thing for us. But happiness comes from inside. So the people have to create their own happiness. But what we can do, we can create the conditions so that they can actually develop their happiness or increase their happiness. So, and we will do that by unifying, creating peace. We need peace and give them freedom. And we need to freedom from work. If they don't have to work, they are happier. And we need to create beauty in everything we do. So that's how we will make humanity happy. And when we're happy, we are peaceful. Happy people are always peaceful. When you are happy, you don't want to fight. When you are not happy, then you start to create problems around you, attack others, for example. So, and here we have, yes, systemic collapse. We have to be aware that we are going through a great danger because this revolution will bring the collapse of the whole system. So that's creating a big danger. So in facing a danger, we have 4 different ways. People can flight, escape, so we can escape the danger. But for a systemic collapse, there is no escape. It's everywhere. It will be global everywhere. There is no escape possible. Maybe you can retire yourself at the top of a mountain, but you will be really alone. But there is not, normally you will find it hard to escape the revolution. It will reach you everywhere, the collapse. So there is no possibility to escape. So you can fight. You can fight against the forces that, changing, because a lot of people think they have to go back to the old ways, keep the status quo, and they fight against the forces that are creating change and they're creating friction. And they try to, for example, they fight robotization. They fight. They want to keep money, and they want to keep working, and they want more work. And we need to do the opposite. We need to free the people from work. We don't want to work. We want more free time. So that's a lot of people will express their frustration during this collapse, and we need to teach them that this collapse is necessary to bring something much better. We cannot avoid the collapse. Actually, we welcome the collapse because we can create after that a paradise. So in front of this danger, other people will freeze. It's another non-action. People freeze. It's called inhibition of action, and this is not good at all because you stay there and you watch and you stress. And when you stress, you get sick and it's very bad for you. You can die from stressing. No, the only way to go is to go forward. When there is a danger, we can go forward. We find a way to avoid the danger or to overcome the danger, go around the danger and find the solutions. And that's what we are trying to do. We are in action. If you are not in action, and you just watch and you stress. To release this stress, you can fight, yeah, but it's not the way to go. Or you can be in action, and we have to explain to the people around us, come and be part of this fantastic revolution without fight. You can be in action without fighting by doing anything you can, and you know what you can do actually. You are the one who know what you can do. You have your skills. You know what you can do. If you can speak, you speak. If you can create music, you create music, you can, you know, everyone, we know what we can do, we know our skills. So I'm not here to tell you what to do. We can all speak. That's for sure. We can all speak to the people around us. That's the minimum we can do. Speak to our friends, the people we meet, and tell them about this systemic revolution that is coming and that is creating, that is bringing a paradism. So, and ask them to join and be in action, taking part of this revolution, and we create a bigger momentum, and especially not create friction and resistance. So there is a lot of work here to explain the people how they can, what they, to explain why they need to participate in this revolution and not be afraid. Not be afraid, but welcome it, because something is coming, it will be very beautiful. So this is it. We have to come together and push in the same direction and choose the same direction. And the direction we propose today is, and I hope that will be embraced by the other protest movement who are now thinking about what could be the demand for the revolution. Then we propose paradise the world, unify, leisurize, and beautify the world. What a beautiful revolution it's going to be if we do that. So, yeah, we can call it, you know, we had the industrial revolution. Now we have the paradisiacal revolution that will bring a paradise. And those at the forefront of the revolution, we have the scientists that are developing this fantastic technology that is going to free us, the robots, but also nanotechnology, the biotechnology to repair the ecosystem and to improve the ecosystem and to free us from science. Actually, science has relieved us from all the suffering.
Let him know we've got questions, darling. Can you stop?
Yes. Yeah, it's the end of it. Hola, yes.
Okay.
And yeah, thank you for listening. So, and also the place for the artist. We have the artist who will have an important role to play. The revolution, the music, every revolution has brought a new artistic movement, especially the music and the youth, and they have a very important part to play in this revolution. That's it. That's my last slide. So this will be a planetary evolution, important, and that will be the birthing of humanity. We will be born to the universe and meet one day, you know, join the other humanities in the galaxies and in the universe. So that's a fantastic program. I hope, yeah, I hope that's it.
Thank you very much, Jarel, for your beautiful presentation.
Yes, so I realized I've been speaking over time. Hola, it was supposed to last less than an hour.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much indeed. We have got some questions, and I'll present them to you. The main focus that is coming through with the questions that have been asked by Rishi and also Anjan, and we have someone else who's asked a question, very interesting one, and from Vivek, yes. From reading these questions, the main point that they're bringing up is how, I guess you did cover the idea of some of the ideas of how we can move forward, but they're very concerned in terms of, yes, once we get more noticeability, more attention of governments. In a kind of way, I can see that their questions are leading to asking for actionable solutions. And I would just like to point out that they're very concerned about the future for generations, their own countries and others, and moving away from the old into the new, and how to formulate this new reality, because it is a new reality with new horizons. And I think it's a process possibly of, as you said, having spokespeople in the community to bring people to the realization that there are these new horizons that we can work to. There is also a fear of the similarity of the fact that communism, of course, has failed. And how do we convince people that paradism will work? And
if you want,
how do we achieve this?
Yeah.
And a non-convincing
maybe I can quickly answer to this one quickly.
Okay.
Communism failed. Collectivism didn't fail. We lived with collectivism for a long time. The original societies had collectivism, and for thousands of years they shared everything. And we do have collectivism today in every country. We collectivize education, some countries, we collectivize defense, we collectivize the money supply, we collectivize, there are many things we collectivize, the parks, we collectivize, collectivization, we already lived with collectivization. So collectivization has always existed. Even the family unit is a communist. It's in a family you collectivize everything, you share everything within the family. So we have lived with collectivism. I prefer to use the word collectivism than communism. Communism is a system that promotes the dictatorship of the proletariat, and there will not be any proletariat, there will not be any workers, so that will not be communism. But collectivism is the future. Capitalism was actually has allowed a fantastic growth, and all the people who are defending capitalism, they look and say, look at what we have achieved. That was fantastic, what capitalism have brought in 200 years. So why do you want to stop it? But we have to stop it now because we are arriving to a society of abundance. And when you have abundance, you have no money, because everything becomes free. So capitalism is actually preventing the abundance preventing us to reach the abundance. That's why we need to abandon capitalism. So we have to explain that, and there will be other Paradism Academy to explain that. And you can find also a few videos that explain the transition from capitalism to collectivism, a smooth transition.
Yes? Thank you very much for answering that question. There's also, a concern about how we balance the population growth. As you said, maybe one child per family.
This I'm not a specialist. This will have to be decided scientifically. Maybe it will have to be more than that. We need to have global conference of the experts. They will tell us at this rate we need to slow down at this rate if we want to avoid big problems. So it will have to be decided scientifically, and everyone will agree, because everyone will understand. You know, we have freedom. Yes, we have the freedom to make babies. Yes, it's our freedom, but we have also freedom is limited by the respect of others. And if we make too many babies, we start to disrespect others, because our babies will get a share of the world more than others, and that's not respectful of others. So we have to be responsible and respectful of others, and that will be educate. People will learn that. We will all accept it voluntarily. But we have to really address this solution this problem very quickly.
Yes, and we've got another question from Rishi asking, when is the next class in the Paradism Academy?
This will be decided. We have technical issues because we want to prepare. We are not ready actually today to launch it the way we wanted to launch it technically. So hopefully next month that will be that's the plan. But we have technical issues to solve first. But the sooner the better.
Thank you.
Once a month will be great.
Thank you very much, Jarel. It's been a beautiful presentation. And for the people who are really very interested in knowing more about Paradism, of course, you can study the website at paradism.org, but also you may also reach out to Jarel by contacting him via the email at the website if you wish to continue further with your conversation and ideas and
yes.
suggestions too, because this is a very, very organic and dynamic and alive process. And it's the beauty of the collectivism, as Jarel said, that will bring these solutions, these relative and smart solutions and integrated solutions, because it's setting a new horizon that humanity hasn't seen. A lot of people haven't been able to approach or see these new horizons that Jarel is speaking about. So I encourage you to get in touch with Jarel if you really wish to explore Paradism further. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I think if you have been through most of the questions, Tara, we can finish the meeting here. There will be ways to have more interaction with the new system that we want to have in place. It will be much more interactive, and we'll be able to take some questions directly from the audience. So keep in touch for the next Paradism Academy. It's important that we train ourselves, we practice. But this message, please spread it around you. Now you are a spokesperson for Paradism. You are a paradist. You can influence the assemblies, the revolutionary assemblies that are taking place around you in your city, in your village, even online. You can participate. It's your mission. And you come now, you have now with you a new message to transmit. It is to paradise the world. And remember, paradise the world, we need to unify, leisurize, and beautify the world. And I want to finish like this. Thank you. I will stop the YouTube. You stay in the room because I will open the mic and we can say hello to each other. But I stop the recording now.